Welcome to the Thrive Mindset Podcast, where manifesting your dreams isn't magic, it's momentum. I'm your host, Carrie Dahle, entrepreneur, author, and manifestation coach, and I'm here to help you stop holding yourself back and start building the life you've been craving. Each week, I'll share real stories, practical tools, and powerful mindset shifts to help you reframe the negative, embrace gratitude, and take aligned action toward your goals. If you're ready to up-level your life, your relationships, your success, then this is your place. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Thrive Mindset Podcast. I'm really glad you're here, and you're here with me in a little piece of heaven right now. I'm going to do things a little different today because we're on our Triple R retreat. It's been a little different this time, and I want to do the podcast here. And today I want to talk to you about something that's been sitting with me, not in a loud, urgent way, but in that quiet, deeper way where you know there's a lesson that wants to be shared. Over this past week, I've had this experience that's reminded me how often we decide something has gone wrong simply because it doesn't look the way we imagined it would. And I think a lot of us are living in space like that right now. Not broken, not failing, just not a timeline or a path that we thought we were on. So today, I want to talk about the journey, and specifically the kind of journey that goes sideways before it makes sense. This year's birthday celebration in our Triple R retreat was something I've been looking forward to for a long time. The intention behind it was super clear. The energy felt really right, and the plans were set. And this year was a little different. The first week was really surrounded by people I consider family and friends. We planned our first week to be in this warm tropical place with people that we love and then we love to spend time with. And we had every detail planned to the point that most of us were on the same flights together. We would all arrive together. We would show up to a place that I loved, to a location that housed us all in our individual spaces. That was just perfect. It was all perfectly planned. But boy, the universe had a different plan. And getting here didn't happen the way it was supposed to. And I'm not going to go into every single detail, but basically there were weather delays that kept a group of us back home sleepless the night before because we needed our plane to get into our small town. And it didn't get in until moments before we were supposed to take off. And it was actually, amazingly, it was the only plane that got in for days, which was crazy. But then we had mechanical delays. And so we ultimately still missed our next connection, which would have put us together with the next group of people. And ultimately, we were divided. Half of us ended up here where I am now, and the other half of us in a freezing cold, not prime location. And then there was things like bags not arriving and cars not lining up. And then you have the whole deal of emotions, right? And I don't know if you've ever traveled with a group of people, but emotions and personalities and all these things can be really tried during chaotic times. And it was, I don't want to say fascinating, but it was interesting to watch moments where you could see one person kind of start to like get aggravated or frustrated or stressed. Everyone else kind of would stay calm. And it was, yeah, it was beautiful. It was a kind of chaos that makes you question, though. It makes you question your patience and your flexibility and honestly, your mindset. But I do remember noticing something really important in real time because we could have spiraled and we could have blamed and we could have let frustration take over. But instead, something else showed up. And what really showed up was calm and kindness and patience. And I don't think that happened accidentally. It happened because we chose it. There's always a moment in situations like this where you get to decide, am I going to fight reality or am I going to meet it? Because the truth is, resistance doesn't speed things up, just makes the journey heavier. So we stayed grounded. We helped each other. We laughed when we could. And we took care of our nervous systems instead of feeding that chaos. And you know what? The group that got here early, they needed time to get to know each other. They needed time to wind down. They needed time to relax in the way that maybe the other five of us didn't. And the five of us that were late, well, we started our adventure in a cold, freezing 13-degree temperature place. That wasn't what we planned for, we weren't dressed for, but we had a margarita and some fun and some laughter and some birthday necklaces, and it was it was a blast. And we enjoyed our time together. And we got a good night's sleep after the night's sleep that we had had. And when we finally all arrived, one full day later than planned, it became clear immediately that nothing had gone wrong. And here's the part that still amazes me. Even though we lost a day, right, on paper, it honestly feels like we didn't lose anything at all. I feel like time expanded. I feel like our presence deepened and things slowed down, and it did it instantly. Because after one evening and one full day, it felt like we had already done everything we'd hoped to do. It was almost like the universe said, you don't need to rush into this. I've got it. And that's when it hit me. How often do we assume a delay means something is wrong when maybe it actually means something is being aligned? We are so quick to label things as failures or setbacks just because they don't match the picture in our head. But life doesn't operate on our preferred timelines. It operates on wisdom, readiness, and alignment. Sometimes the delay gives people space to soften. Sometimes the disruption rearranges our connections. The late arrival means you show up present, more open, and more available for what's waiting for you. Because the journey rarely looks the way we think it should. But that doesn't mean it's wrong. It means it's working on you, not against you. This episode of the Thrive Mindset podcast is brought to you by the Scott Lewis Group at John L. Scott Real Estate. Buying or selling a home is more than just a transaction. It's your move. It's your next chapter. And we're here to make sure that your move is remarkable. We know this market inside and out, and we care deeply about helping you find more than just a house. We want you to find the place where your life truly thrives. Whether you're stepping into your first home, upgrading to something new, or starting something fresh, you deserve more than ordinary. With the Scott Lewis Group, it's your move. Let's make it remarkable. So let me ask you this. Where in your life are you convinced something is off track when it might be just unfolding differently? What are you calling a problem that could actually be a recalibration? What would you shift if you stopped fighting the timing and started trusting it? You don't need to force clarity. You don't need to rush the next step. You don't need to have it all figured out. Sometimes the work is simply staying kind and patient and open. And as I sit here now, reflecting on the journey and reflecting on the time I had with my friends while they were here, I know with certainty that it unfolded exactly the way it was meant to. Not because it was smooth, but because it taught us how to move through uncertainty with grace. So if your life feels a little off script right now, just let it be a reminder. Different doesn't mean wrong. Delayed doesn't mean denied. And arriving later than planned doesn't mean you missed out. Sometimes the path that surprises you the most is the one that brings you exactly where you're meant to be. Thank you for being here with me today. And until next time, trust the journey, even when it looks nothing like you planned. Share this with a friend, subscribe, like, and above all else, remember, I believe in you, and you can manifest the life of your dreams.